Dying Light 2 is at best a 6 out of 10 game, but my experience with it was so annoying that I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. We had so many glitches and crashes that we just started getting tired of the game. The glitches would happen at least 3 to 4 times a night when we were playing for about 3 to 5 hours, on average. Dying Light 2 as a game is mechanically good, but suffers from a forgettable story, forgettable characters, and horrible open world design in the second half of the game. Dying Light 2's mechanics are really good. I love how the feel of combat changes depending on what gear you have and what weapon you're using. Being a medic, so you can just jump around and do parkour combat, is just fun. Or running as a tank using two-handed weapons to cleave off a zombie's head in one shot is so satisfying. The combat is simple but effective, and it's there to amplify and add to Dying Light 2's main mechanic of parkour. This is easily the mechanic I like the most in the game. You know what else I like a hell of a lot? When someone drop kicks that like button down below. Techland was able to make running feel amazing. The amount of speed you get, especially in the higher levels of the parkour tree, makes it feel so good when you can get on a line running across rooftops. But there are 3 things that are a letdown when it comes to the parkour system: the introduction of the paraglider, the grappling hook, and the level design of the second half of the game. In the back half of the game, the level design of the open world goes from fun for parkour to fucking unbearable for parkour. The first half of the game is based in an area where, other than the hospitals and a few key buildings, nothing is over 4 to 5 stories tall. But when you get into the second half of the game and they introduce the paraglider, every building is a goddamn skyscraper. You are basically forced to use the paraglider to get around. It's honestly the only way to get around after you get it and upgrade it so that you have the boost. With the boost, you can get basically from one side of the map to the other without touching the ground at all if you time the boost correctly. It's dumb as hell. There's no reason to use the parkour system anymore because of it. And with the grappling hook, you can just basically spam it to scale the sides of buildings if you have enough stamina. I broke the VNC Tower mission by skipping a whole area that triggers dialogue by doing that. Just a heads up, from here on, I'm going to warn you that this goes into spoiler territory, at least from what I remember about the game, which is very little. Speaking of the VNC Tower, that's one of the big decision moments that's part of the story. Throughout the game, there's like 5 or 6 big decision moments that plays into the end of the story, and I honestly don't remember most of them. The only ones that I do remember are VNC Tower and the windmill, and I don't really remember any of the other ones. And there's a lot of choices in the game that kind of make sense, but there's other ones that really, really don't make sense. Like, towards the end of the game, you meet the Colonel, and you can either kill him on the spot or spare him, and it's your first meeting. Everybody has said how bad the Colonel and the Butcher are, but when you sneak into the Colonel's camp, there are no renegades. There are just normal people living semi-normal lives in this zombie apocalypse. People are attacking you because you broke in, but they're just defending themselves. So why would I straight up kill him? And it's decisions like that that made not only myself, but also Mike question the writing in the story. And another thing is, none of the characters in this game are likable or really have a redeeming quality at all. Every character that we met, except for maybe a select few, I didn't care if they died or not. I honestly was hoping Lawan would die. Nothing about her to me is likable. And before anyone goes for the "oh, you don't like strong women characters," I am currently playing through Days Gone, and I like Ricky, who is a strong character. I like Sarah, who is a strong character on her own. I think they're well-written, strong female characters. But every character in Dying Light 2 is either annoying as hell, stupid as hell, or is just pissed all the fucking time. The only character that I felt had any kind of a decent arc was the Peacekeeper commander in the first area. I don't even remember what his name was. It has been a good month since we beat the game, and that just shows you how forgettable the story is. The only other story game I've played since then is Days Gone, so I should have some memory of Dying Light 2's story and characters, but I don't because it honestly isn't that good, and the characters are so forgettable. And it's because of all of the glitches, crashes, the forgettable story, the annoying and forgettable characters, and the level design of the second half of the game, I think Dying Light 2 deserves a 4 out of 10 from me. I honestly don't want to touch this game again, but maybe when or if they get all of the please wait bugs out, I'll revisit the game and give my thoughts on it again. So that's honestly what I think about Dying Light 2. If you've played it, leave your thoughts on the game down in the comments below.